All right, yeah. Whew. It's been way too long. I think it's been almost 2 weeks or some change like that. But hey, welcome to another episode of Mornings with Movers. It's Dwight Mack with Mack's Moving Training in the building. We got Ryan Marsh. He doing too much. I don't even know how to explain his title anymore. So what's going on, Ryan?
What's up, man? How are you doing? Long time no see. A couple weeks off here, it looks like.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's the summer. I like to think that, everybody's been so busy that, keeping up with these episodes has been a challenge of its own.
Yeah, we did have the holiday week. What was it last week?
Yeah, was it 4th of
Fourth
July
week?
on a Thursday? You know
Yeah,
what? I
July 4th
think,
was on Thursday. That's we should have did a special episode for July, hit some fireworks or something.
right, but we would have had to be outside. We got to do these episodes in person one day and just, go crazy.
You're not
Um,
too far from me though, right? Were you like an hour
um,
from me?
yeah, I'm in Syracuse, Utica area.
You're an hour and a half from me.
Okay.
I could
So yeah,
definitely I can make it
whenever you're
up
not
there.
traveling on the road, we got to link up.
Did you, I tell you, better catch me now because once September hits, I'm gone. September, October, November. It's pretty pretty lengthy 3 months, we'll say. I'm all over the
Okay.
place.
Yeah, no. So I don't know how everybody's been. I've been trying to keep up with some of the people in the industry or so like that. But again, I know everybody's just running crazy because this is the time of the year where you got to capture all of the golden nuggets out there, the money, the cash, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So because we know that we got about another strong 2 months before it starts to die down again. And I know there's people still trying to figure out why their calendar isn't filled yet. And I
Especially
don't,
this month. I don't know if it was because the early, the holiday piece or what have you, but a lot of the companies that we're talking to, they had a great May, they had a great June, but July's been a little bit, start off a little bit slower than normal for them. Now, again, at the same time, other companies that we're talking to, they're just, their schedule is packed to the gills, right? So, depending on which area, which market, you're either super swamped or it's just kind of been a weird beginning to July, but it's still early, still plenty of weeks left in the month to get this thing course corrected.
yeah, and I know it's scary, but don't panic. Use this as a learning tool because every year is going to be different. You got to know that. Like, last year summer could have been crazy busy for you guys. Or maybe the previous year summer was crazy busy. And then this year you're expecting that it's going to be crazy busy, so you overcompensate for hiring more laborers just to realize that it's not busy. And you're like, oh man, now you start to go through a panic. And it's just, hey, every year is going to be different. Just go into it as prepared as you can be and yeah, capitalize, build relationships because every year you're going to build newer and newer relationships, or you should be building newer and newer relationships. I had a guy who wanted to buy some of my company or so, my old company, and he was like, "Oh, I want access to all your connections that you had on your Google Guarded." And I'm like, "There's no way. There's no way I'm reliving that. Like, I spent, over 10 years building those strong relationships to the point where it's just like that was one of my main focuses in my company with my reps, my sales team. Hey, if it's dead, let's build relationships. Let's go out there, let's see who's out there,
Yeah.
let's see who the competition is out there dealing with. Like I'll look at another mover company on Google and I say, oh, who are they affiliated with? Oh, they're affiliated with this company? Why are we not affiliated with that company? Because clearly some customers might be going in that direction, and that's where I need to be.
Yep. No, I say there's when there's downtime, you got to put that time in and do some type of work. Don't just sit there twiddling thumbs waiting for jobs to come in or I'd always be looking for particular work or trying to meet a different facilities manager at one of the universities to get more commercial work, or I was studying the snot out of my competition. Always making calls to them. Just, hey, what have their hourly rates changed? Who's new at the company? How are they answering the phones? How are they basically running me through the move process? And I did that 2, 3 times a year, which was pretty it was fun too, right? Disguising the number, fake name, this, having some fun with it, and really just asking them the questions about your potential move and just seeing which lanes they guide you down, or were they really, really good at what they were doing, or did they just kind of shut you down and just try to book a quick virtual estimate? So Always something
Hmm.
done in the downtime, man.
Yeah, no, I think I had like I tried to I think I tried, I never did have success doing it in my market, like New York market, but I've done it when I was in the Florida market where I would actually call other moving companies and see what their prices were. And in Florida, it was easy because everybody just throw a price at you, you know?
Yep.
In New York, it was a little more of a process. Like, oh, what do you got? Oh, what is this? What is that? And I'm like, damn, this is a process. Oh, I'm lying. So, so I was like, you know what? I just have my sales team call and try to figure out the rates, or we would use Moving Help. Moving Help was a great source for since there was a lot of people in our market that was on it.
Yep.
And I wasn't trying to compete with those guys because I know that like when I first started, my whole mission was let's be the most affordable mover and in other words, the cheapest mover. And
Yep.
and I think we'll get a lot of volume that way. So I'm like, damn, are we top three for the most expensive mover? I gotta get top one for the cheapest. And I was trying to figure out how to lower the rates to just be like number one. So on Moving Help, they do either they filter by price, best reviews, or something else. But the first thing that the filters is on is price. So I'm
Uh,
like, we got to be number one. That's the cheapest mover. So we pop up on their list. And when you deal with those headaches, like you damage one sofa, like whether it's a snag or whatever the case is, it's like $400 or $500, and you're just like, well, that was the
there-
whole move cost.
yeah, that your margins are gone. See ya. Another move for free plus some.
And we used to do the 60 cents per pound, and it was just like 60 cents per pound. Yeah, about that. Either way, it's gonna be high. But when we were labor only, hey, you know what? We told the guys, hey, you break it, you pay for it. When we
Yeah.
became a full service, legitimate moving company, and we was on payroll, labor laws. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah, no. Yeah, definitely not. I do know some companies that attempted to do this or still try to. If their guys go out on a job and break things, like, hey, you guys, I don't know how they get around labor laws and things like that, but that'd be pretty cool if you could have your crews pay for any damage that they do on a move. But I'm sure there's got to be a way to do that or something. But I know there's quite a few companies that are doing that now.
Well, dang, now you done ruined the surprise.
Oh, shoot.
So
You got
no,
up your
so
sleeves here, Dwight.
for everybody that didn't know, so obviously, so I have a new company that will be hopefully coming out very, very soon. Where hey, if you guys go missing for the day because they don't know how to show up to work, kids issues. Hey, I ain't got nobody watch my kids, and they call out 6 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I got the company for you guys now where you can basically contract laborers in your market just by going onto an app, and within about 2 minutes of you inputting whatever data you need to input, your job posting will go to the market, and you'll get a notification that somebody accepted, and they'll meet you at the location to get the job done. Now, the benefits of that is that these guys cover their own damages.
Ooh.
So, with that being said, now of course they'll be at a little less of a rate because they're not the professional guys that do this every day. So they'll be paying at a rate of like 30 cents per pound, but they still cover their damages as far as like household goods go. Um, so I think that's the only way to answer your question, Ryan. That's the only way to go about doing it because if there are an independent contractor versus like some of these big laborers that's out there that's getting paid 200 to 250 a day, hey, you know what? I shouldn't have. If you break something, you damage something, you miswrap it the way you were supposed to wrap it. That 250 should go down. I'm not saying go down by drastically, but you still did the work, but go down by a fair percentage to cover that damage.
No, that's there's something always, even 2 years ago when I was in seed in the industry, seeing these 250, 300 plus day or $1 a day guys, seeing some of the damage. It's like, man, y'all walked away with $300. Damage is snot out of shit. And no recourse for anything besides, hey, I know not to call Dwight again. Not you, Dwight, but I know not to call this person or that person. But it's like, man, you spent a fortune on that, and there's no recourse or anything with all the damage that gets done. So I'm kind of liking what you're throwing out there.
Yeah, no, I worked with a lot of agencies as well, like temp services. No names out there because they done well by me, and I'll definitely utilize them a lot more if I ever needed them again. Um, and the thing is with the temp services, they don't cover any damages. Hey, this guy broke it. Unfortunately, we won't send that guy to you anymore. We could take him off your list.
Yeah.
What? What? No, like this don't make no sense.
The damage has already been done at that point.
I had one summer it got so busy that I had to be on a job with two contractors from two different agencies. And because the agency that I needed, like they just didn't have enough bodies to send me. And I had, I think, 4 or 5 jobs going on that day, all starting in the morning. So it sucked. So I had to get so many contractors going to different sites and split my guys up amongst the contractors. And I was working with two contractors on this 2-floor house trying to load up a Penske. And one older guy was like, he couldn't lift the dresser. So then he told the younger guy, "Oh, I need you to help me lift. I need you to lift the dresser." So now, all right, okay, well, I'm working with this super young kid who's like 17, 18, and I'm working with this older guy who's looked like he's in his 50s. I'm like, what's that? What the hell is the odds of this? And so now I pick up the dresser. The dresser is kind of heavy because, of course, the customers don't empty the dresser, but they prep the furniture, so they shrink wrap the drawers and everything already to the dresser with the blanket on. So talk about extremely heavy. I'm like, all right, you know what? It's too hot for this. I'm not about to, you know, unwrap this, get everything out of it. We're gonna just carry it like this and just get it to the truck. So as soon as we lift it up, you could see that he was kind of struggling already. And I'm like, well, damn, the old man can't lift it. Oh, you look like you struggling with it. But all right, we got to get this done. So he started going down the stairs, and I said, you know what? I'm not going backwards down the stairs because it already look like you can't hold the piece, and I'll be done if you let the piece go and I'll go down. So I said, you know what? You go down first, backwards, and the old man, I need you to just make sure he don't fall. So then we started getting it down the stairs. As soon as we get it down the stairs, straight out the door is the outside, and we got a walkway to go around the house to get to the driveway. And as soon as we get outside, the young kid is like, "Can we put this down and take a break?" I'm like, "Oh my goodness, is it going to be this type of day?" So we put the dresser down. We get out. We get on the walkway. Then he's like, and then I'm like, "All right, you good? On the left again?" So he's like, "All right, oh, yeah, I'm good." So as soon as we get around the driveway, which couldn't be no more than 100 feet, and the truck ramp is like right there, he's like, "Can we put this down?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, all right, we'll put it down." And
Tell me it
then
wasn't the $300 a day guy.
no, this was the expensive guy because the temp service they charge you at least $34 an hour, and and it was like at least a minimum of 4 hours worth of work. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then now as we attempt to lift it again, his hand gets caught underneath the blanket of the leg, and it slips and it falls on the ground on his legs, and it snaps the leg. I said, "Are you serious?" And
Claim
you know
number.
what? You know what that conversation is like when you got to have it with that customer afterwards? You're like, sir, had a little boo-boo. You got to make it sound soft, like, I had a little boo-boo. Just
You're
your
dressed
leg
enough
cracked.
just like this.
Yeah. So your leg cracked, stuff like that. And, only thing I got to think is like, damn, like, you got to handle this. And this could have been easily avoided.
It's a dresser coming down the stairs.
So, well, we got down the stairs. That was the easy part. We just couldn't get it up the ramp into the truck.
Yeah, I don't miss those days. I do not miss those days whatsoever at
Yeah.
all.
So, but I also been doing this gig so far, working with AT&T, and I don't mind letting people know, kind of like I got to stay busy in the meantime while I'm developing all of these different companies. So, but on the first day of actually overseeing a whole store, one of the workers go missing off the sales floor. And talk about anxiety. Like it just brought me back to my moving days when the movers did some weird stuff and disappeared.
Oh yeah,
And
you get in those big houses or commercial projects. I always do head counts throughout the day. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, we're missing three. So you just go walking through the building. We're not even out working on floor five, right? You get off the elevator and you just hear someone and I'm like, what are you guys doing up here? Like, oh, it just felt like I was always kind of trying to track the guys down. Like, where'd you go? Where you at? So
Hmm.
where were they missing out of the AT&T showroom? Where'd you find them?
I didn't find him. I had to text him, when I text him, he was like, "Oh, I had told you I had a doctor's appointment I had to go to." What the hell? When did you text me? I didn't get it. I didn't get no message. And I end up and now obviously it's the first primary day of running your own store, and you're responsible for every knickknack on the floor, everybody. You're just like, you want to do this on the first day? On the first day? And I'm just trying not to lose it because I knew that like it brought me back to my days where, like I said, a mover would do something so dumb to disappear or not show up. And I'm just like, I would have flipped my top and lost it. And I'm like, no, you can't do that here. You can't do that here. It's not the same type of environment. But
Oh man.
yeah, ultimately it got resolved. And I was just like, you know what? Whew, breathe.
So what's that experience been like, right? So coming from the moving world that you've known, breathed, lived, slept, ate, what have you, to kind of more of that I don't want to say corporate whitewash in and out, not office, but what's it been like, man? Just dealing with the people, kind of the change of, the rush, putting out fires. Is it similar to the moving side of the house, or is it they have a lot of similarities, a lot of differences, or is it just like, man, this is kind of boring? Because you
Um,
have
it
I don't know.
it is nothing like moving. And that, similar to what Louis Mazzaro said, if you could do moving, you could do anything in a sense where moving is so tough because you're uplifting somebody's life versus, hey, my phone won't allow me to go on Facebook. And it's just a whole different environment. It's a lot more chill of an environment where, like I said, it's not pressuring. You know what you need to do. You know, would
You get
I?
yelled at a lot? Do people
Huh?
customers come in yelling and screaming because their phone bill or their, phone doesn't do this or what have you? Do people come in like really hot?
Some people do, but it's not to the point where it's overbearing. It's, hey, either you're going to deal with it because you know that it's not our fault. We don't make the rates. It's the corporate that makes rates. So at
It's
the end
not
of the
me.
day, either you're going to deal with it and we could try to figure out how we can make it less for you, or you're going to go to another carrier. And you see a lot of people going to Spectrum, like, oh, yeah, my bill's only $30 a month. Well, hey, you're going to do what you're going to do because it fits your budget.
Yeah.
And, only thing we can do is try to talk sense and make sense out of it. But in my opinion, there's no making sense out of it when it's $30 a month.
Yeah. Yeah, for the first 6 months or year, then it goes up to crazy.
Probably. So, but yeah, no, other than that, it's been good. But me, my heart, everything relies on focusing on the moving industry, especially a lot of people that don't have the knowledge, the processes yet. It just wows me that, people that's making $1 million a year or so like that don't have a system behind it.
Yeah.
I've
It's
been,
I know
but
there's many companies that are doing 4, 5, 6 million that don't have processes in place. They're not using any type of software, pen, paper, just kind of ripping across the board. But they're doing well. So that I think that's the really surprising piece is some of these guys are rather prehistoric, but they're doing a good job. They're handling a ton of moves. They're doing 3, 4 thousand moves a year. Just ripping through pen and paper. So. But no,
yeah,
I
no.
commend them, man, and I commend you too for obviously building your empire behind the scenes, but yet still out there grinding. Having some revenue. Like, kudos to you, man. Like it's a long game, and you're proof that it can be done. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
I'm the
well,
biggest champion, man. I love seeing what you're doing here, and I love following where you're headed.
Yeah, no, me, I'm always going to be a workaholic, whether I get up at 6 a.m. and, yesterday I had to put in 12 hours for somebody else. And at the end of the day, I come home and I still got to do stuff for me, do stuff for
Yep.
my business, spend time with family. I'm still going to have that kind of balance, but at the same time, they got to know that, because I'm obligated elsewhere that isn't on necessarily on my time, that when I do come home and I need to put stuff in on my time, that I got to kind of work them into it as well. So I kind of know that I have that mixture of work and life balance going on at the same time. But ultimately, the goal is for it to be temporary. It's not meant to be forever that I'm grinding like this.
Dude, I'd say the work-life balance, there's no such thing. That's bullshit. I don't, whoever says that is, oh, work life. No, it's all bullshit. I mean, you figure how much time do you spend working versus with your family? You spend way more hours with your work
Hmm.
week than your family, right? I mean, so I kind of see like a blend of work-life harmony. And even that is kind of bullshit as well, right? Like, how do you harmonize? It's like, hey, I got to work, 80 hours this week, and then I got to travel next week, and I'm going to come home for 2 days just to basically do laundry, get a haircut, say hello, and then I'm back on a plane again. Like, it's all BS, man. But the hope is you grind it out when you're young, do what you can do, and hopefully you have a nice, fruitful, fruitful life after the fact. We'll see. But hope is not a plan, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And hey, everybody has a heads up. I will look to be live next Thursday, but I do have my own wedding to attend next weekend. So, it'd be a lot going
You
on
getting
that.
married?
Yes, sir.
I don't even know what to tell you here, man. I thought I've got is it 10 years? Yeah, 10-year anniversary coming up August.
Congratulations on that. Um,
Congratulations. That's like a 10-year sentence, man. Are you kidding me?
you know
No.
what? 10 years go by so fast, just like these last 5 years that I've been with my spouse, and it's been crazy.
Well, that's awesome, man. I must have didn't get I did let me look through my mail. I don't know if I got the invite to that one. No,
Um,
it must still be
we gotta keep it small because it's expensive nowadays with these weddings.
going. Oh, it was
Um,
expensive 10 years ago, man. I was like, holy crap. I'm like, that's the price for what? I'm like, just to throw a quick party? I'm like, no, we need to back down the food a little bit. Nobody needs to eat that good. Nobody needs to eat that good.
yeah, no. So at the end of the day, for me, like I just mentioned in these last few minutes, is like, hey, I'm planning for a wedding. I'm working, for somebody else as well as doing my own two projects in the meantime. And it never stops. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to just stay organized and just manage your time properly. I get up at 6 a.m. most mornings. Some days I work out, and some days I just, hey, I might get up a little hour later if I'm not working out and just get my mind right. So before all the chaos. My new AKA manager, which is weird to say, but my new manager is saying, hey, I need you to be in at this time in the morning. And I'm like, oh, okay, now you're interfering with my mental time to get my head together before all the chaos. But you know what? Hey, if I got to get up a little hour earlier so I can get what I need to get done, whether it's 5 a.m., get what I need to get done, fulfill that void where they, hey, I answered their questions, I answered their concerns. Now they're going to leave me alone. You know what? It's all about however you can do it to resolve the peace or chaos in your life so that you can focus on what you need to focus on in the long run.
I'd say what I've been doing for a while now is I've been getting up about 5:15, 5:30, right? First half hour, get a little bite to eat, a little coffee, water, what have you. Obviously, immediately kind of hit the gym. But dude, I've been journaling quite a bit lately, just about every day.
Nice.
Not just writing down like all these, unicorns, but literally like, okay, this week, what do I want to accomplish this week? How was today? What went right today? What went wrong today? And just kind of just getting whatever's in my head out on a piece of paper. Now you could type it too, but I personally like to write it. Dude, I'm telling you, it's very therapeutic, I would say. And I feel like I'm accomplishing a heck of a lot more because now it's like I can go back and see, oh shit, Monday. You know what? I was feeling this way Monday. I had all these different tasks to do, and I'm like, you know what? I did that. And today's Thursday. I knocked all that out. Like, wow, I did all that. Like, it's just a really nice, I don't know. Been journaling quite a bit, and then walking at night, which I used to make fun of people who walked all the time. So I'm like, what?
Hmm.
Just jog. Like, why are you gonna walk? Get in the car and go somewhere, right? But dude, I'm telling you, you talk about helping your mind get clear, prepare, kind of close out the day, and then kind of figure out, hey, strategize on how we're gonna start the day tomorrow. And it's been huge. 2, 3 miles a night, man, and it's wonderful. I get a lot of great ideas when I'm out there walking.
Yeah.
Buying
Now, I don't
parts.
know about walking at night, but I know that, we used to walk every morning for, I think, 90 days or something like that, where we walked every morning for about 30 to 45 minutes around the neighborhood. And it was definitely, like you said, it's definitely therapeutic where you get your mind right. And I think the journaling, for me, personally, I think it will make me think more about work. And I'll probably be writing down a lot of notes about, oh, what could you be doing today, work-wise, versus personal life-wise. And like you said, it's hard to find that balance to figure out, okay, is this work-related of a task or is this a personal life task? What do I need to do around the house versus what do I need to do to get the needle moving forward? And I think for me, it's like, you know what? I just need to meditate. Meditate, calm down that go, go, go mindset and figure out, hey, where are you really? And I think meditating where it's just like, hey, put your head down or something and, listen to some Zen food music where it's not like actual words
Yep.
and just really just get lost in your head and versus not thinking about business or life, just where you are now and where do you want to be.
Another thing I started doing, and I'm pretty, I don't say cheap, but rather frugal, right? So I don't like to spend money if I don't have to. But back to, I think you touched on like, hey, stuff do I got to do for my business or stuff I got to do for the house or what have you. I've been just starting to hire some of these things out, like paying for services that I normally would never do, just because A, I enjoy doing it, but at the same time, it's like back to that time in a day. It's like if I'm not doing work related stuff, for my, for Supermove or for our sub shop, right? I mean, don't forget, I'm running two, well, not running two business, working for a really awesome company, but then we also have our own sub shop, but then it's back to that work life harmony or balance. Like between Supermove and the sub shop, my time is pretty well taken, right? Besides some weekends here and there. And on that free time that I do have, it's like the yard's got to get mowed. We got to paint here, got to replace this thing on the deck. Shoot, we need a new door at the sub shop, which are all things I normally do. But I just started hiring that shit out and just like,
Mhm.
I don't want to pay $200 to have somebody just swap a door out. But at the same time, I know it's going to take me probably 2.5 hours. I'm going to screw something up. I'm going to get frustrated. So now that 2.5 hours, I just went and took my son to play 9 holes of golf. Right.
Mhm.
So I've been trying to do a little bit more of that, man. And I said, I hate spending money. And I
Hey, you
like,
got to delegate.
but it's like, hey, how do you get that better work-life harmony piece, right? So just try to find any way I can to free up some more time, but still have the ability to get things knocked out while I'm actually enjoying my family.
Yeah, no, you're definitely gonna have to start delegating after a while, especially like I know that you're doing stuff with your business as well as move and probably more than that, like you said, at that point where you have to delegate, or
Yeah.
otherwise you're just gonna burn yourself out.
It's been tough because I like to have my hands like in everything, be everywhere at at every time. But it's like, you know what? That's where it kind of you got to trust in the people that we have, especially with our personal business, and just know that hey, when we're not there, things are in just as good a hands as if we are there. So it's giving more to our folks, and just having a little bit deeper trust. And so far, no one's given us any reason not to stop what we're doing. So.
Yeah, no, I would say, like so I still have my overseas team as well. And it's one of those things where, hey, create these processes, create these systems for everything, everything in your life, whether it's passwords, whether it's a process, because we have so many processes in our head that somebody done came across and gave us to say, oh, well, hey, in order to complete this task, you need to be able to do this, whether it's life or work.
Yeah.
And if you're not journalizing and putting this stuff down where it's like, hey, step one to doing this is this, step two, step three. Okay, I got to the answer. If you're not doing that in your personal life as well as your business life, your life is probably going to be in shambles because you're like, think about it. I deal with people that got, iPhones or whatever the case is, and I'm an Android person. So when I deal with these people and they're like,
We got to
oh,
get you changed over, man. We got to get you switched.
I thought about it and I thought about the horrors that Apple put people through. If you
Yeah, I'm struggling right now. I'm on a Microsoft service, which I love, love, love. It's got everything set. I've got this Mac that was sent to me, brand new Mac, right? And I keep playing with it, and I'm supposed to switch over to it. I'm terrified, man. So I feel like I'm kind of with you, like Android computer wise. I'm terrified to switch over to the Mac. I just can't. Every time I touch the little thing, screens keep popping up, and I'm like, what's this green, yellow, red? Like, I want to click an X. Like, just little things, right? But I'm a huge iPhone user, so you'd think it would be a natural switch, but I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there wants to give me some lessons on a Mac, like obviously I'll pay at this point, but
Yeah,
uh,
no. It's been crazy, and I see people, like I said, they get locked out of their iClouds, and they think it's the same password as their Gmail, and then it's really not. And then you contact Apple. Apple say, "Oh, we will let you back in about 2 weeks at 3 p.m. So check your email." And it's just like,
whoa,
what the heck?
that's crazy.
So it's insane. And I'm like, you know what? Samsung may not have this type of security as Apple, but it is way more simpler when it comes to, hey, if I'm switching phones, I just need to be able to log into my Gmail. If I don't know my damn Gmail password, I'm in more trouble than I need to be.
Yeah. Is it crazy? You lose the password nowadays, you can absolutely you just screw your whole self. If you
Hmm.
don't have that Gmail password, good luck.
So, all right, y'all. So we are at the top of the half an hour marker. It was amazing speaking with you always, Ryan. So if you got anything to say before we cut out for today.
Ooh, no, I always got something to say, but I think transparency. I think I'm gonna leave with that one today. Kind of going back to, believing in your people. I feel like the more transparent we can be as business owners or leaders, um, sharing the numbers with your folks, right? So whether it be, whether it doesn't matter if you're in the moving business or the sub business or what have you, share the numbers with your team. Let the team know when things are good, where it's at. When things are bad, we all win together. We're all going to lose together. But I feel like the more transparent we can be as leaders, when it comes to sharing the numbers. Now, obviously, not sharing salaries and things like that, but hey, let's let these guys know what the expenses are for this particular job, or what the NICEAG bill is this month, what the light bill is. Share all this stuff. I think the more you can share, I feel like the more you'll get some caring from your employees as well.
Yeah, and we, like I said, having quarterly meetings, we've done that where it could be July 15th, a Wednesday, if that's, if whatever it falls on. And if that's the case, hey, we may shut the doors down in the middle of a summer and say, hey, you know what, we need to have a meeting. Have our guys come together, talk about, the salespeople, they'll be in the same room. They know the actual numbers because they're booking sales. But with that conversation as a whole, when you're having that conversation in the room, we talking about, hey, you know what? We talking about jobs. How many jobs we need to complete? How many jobs we have completed? And we don't go into depth about how much money is on the table. Oh well, hey, we made up to 300,000 this year. Let's keep going. We can aim for 600,000 because we know that guys like movers and drivers will look to definitely be in your pocket. Oh well, you made 300,000. Why aren't we seeing that or whatever the case is? So it's kind of about wordplay on the group that you're having that conversation with, but you want to be transparent. Hey guys, so we've had a lot of claims this year. Claims added up to about $5,000, and that's just a high number. I don't think we ever got that high. But claims got up to about $5,000 this year. We need to get that number down or whatever the case is. But we will never tell them like, oh well, hey, we made 300,000, even though we spent 5,000 on claims, because that's just not that type of boasting or bragging you want to do in a conversation. Because now it can start to mess up the morale in the room.
Yeah, I'd say another thing and I do this with actually. I'm preparing for it Monday. I don't know if you can see. Dang, my
Okay, yeah, no, I can see
camera's
that,
all
man.
messed up here. But it's basically simple, the keep, start, stop exercise. We do this every quarter with the employees at the sub shop. And basically, what are things that the keep is what should we be doing? The things that we're doing now that we all think are going really well, what should we keep? And each individual teammate writes them down. What do we want to start? So, of course, everybody has ideas of what they want to start and what we could change to be better and what have you. But then also, what are we doing currently that we need to stop? And for everything that our team wants to start, we need to have 3 stops. And that's kind of the caveat I don't mention until the very end. But I tell you, it's fun. You do this exercise with your team, keep, start, stop. You will be blown away how many processes you can change and how many really, really cool ideas that your people have that you might just not know unless you do that exercise. But great
That's awesome.
exercise. It only takes about 10-15 minutes to do. And it's eye opening. And we do it 4 times a year.
All right, awesome. I gotta have you send me over that form, see what it look like.
I just
Um,
typed it up last night, but yeah, I'll email it over to you. I'll email.
all right, no problem. So, all right. So I'll see you next week. All right, everybody, y'all enjoy your week. Keep pushing. All right, y'all. Take care.
See you, Dwight.